November, Mike Yankee, contact ground 120.45.
Винта!
Hi there, as usually it's me, just a voiceover, and you're watching Review Machines. Today I've dressed my Sunday's best, cause I'm very excited to show you this awesome airplane. It has been a dream for a long time, and now it's real. Today I will tell you how I managed to buy this plane. I'll tell you all the details and difficulties in this process. Actually, the whole matter turned out to be much easier than I thought. It's almost like buying a car. So we'll discuss the buying process of a used plane, then review it in detail, and finally try even to fly. And now I want to introduce to you my friend, Andrei. It was his idea to buy this plane, and actually he bought it himself after all. Well, get on our plane, my friends, and fasten your seatbelts. We are to start right now, let's go! So if you are watching this video, you are probably also dreaming about the sky as we were. And if you don't know all the details, the process to become a pilot may seem you so complicated. You might think it's too difficult and expensive, and finally, if you even buy a plane, where should you store it? It's a good question. And we begin with answering it. Welcome to the airdrome, my friends. Actually, there are numerous airdromes for private airplanes throughout our country, and I think even more at your place, depending where I am from. In fact, every more or less large town has his own airdrome, and sometimes even two or more. So you can just choose a nearest airdrome and rent there a room for your plane. Moreover, every airdrome has a hotel, refreshments room, showers and so on. And speaking about the prices, I can tell you our prices in Russia. We pay about $200 per month for storing a plane in the aerodrome. So supposing you chose a proper aerodrome. Now let's think about planes. Do you want to buy your own plane? In fact, it's more real than most people think. Here it is our example. It's legendary American airplane Cessna 150. It's one of the most popular private planes. It's a plane for two people. It was produced in 1966. It may seem quite old, but in fact it's not so great age for a plane. The product life of this plane is 25,000 hours, but it has only 5,000. After we bought it, we had thoroughly serviced it, and now this Cessna in a perfect condition. And speaking about the price, we paid for this plane $30,000. So what we've got for that money? Let's look at it in detail. Cessna is a light two-passenger plane with maximum takeoff weight 726 kilos. Its own weight is 509 kilos. The plane is equipped with Continental engine 100 HP power. The maximum speed is 202 km per hour. A cruising speed is 152 km per hour. The maximum range is 778 km. The chassis is non-foldable. We have here a cozy interior inside the cabin. There are two side-by-side seats, like in a regular car. There is also, so to speak, a trunk behind the seats. At the front we see two steering wheels and a dashboard. By the way, it might be interesting what gauges we have here. Let's speak about them in a word. You may know how to steer the plane. Many of us played computer games, didn't you? The pedals direct the aircraft in a horizontal plane. As to the gauges, its current speed relative to the air, flying height, its gyro compass, sliding roll gauge, the horizon control, variometer, radio station. Then we see engine control lever, fuel mix control lever, the carburetor control lever, the flaps control lever, carburetor heating. There are lighting control buttons. This is a tachometer, engine temperature indicator, the vacuum pump pressure, and finally exhaust temperature indicator. And here we see a fuel indicator. Well, we've covered all the dashboard. Let's move on. Again, few words about the prices. As I said, our Cessna costs $30,000, but there are some cheaper variants. For example, this Czech airplane Skyboy, produced in 2012. It's two-passenger plane equipped with Rotax engine 80 HP with cruising speed 120 km per hour. Such a plane costs about $20,000. Well, now we have an aerodrome, and we have a plane, but it seems we still are lacking something. What about a pilot license? We'll talk about it a bit later, and now we are straining at the leash to test our airplane. Let's fuel it up and go. As a rule, there is a gas station in any aerodrome, but sometimes it's much easier to use such mini gas station. Are you ready to take off? Frankly speaking, it's going to be my first flight on board a private plane, so I am a bit nervous. Thanks my friend Andrei, who helped me greatly to make up my mind finally and get in our Cessna.
Agenta!
We are in the air, my friends. And first of all, I should say, it's absolutely another feeling in comparison with regular air travels. When you travel by regular passengers aircraft, and if you are lucky enough to get a seat near to the window, all you will see it's a small piece of the sky through the tiny illuminator. But flying by such a private plane, you are getting the impressive view of the most part of the sky. And it's stunning, especially for me flying for the first time. I think now I can understand professional pilots who can stay on land for a long time. Huge open air and clean sky. It may be a real passion of all life. But be careful, trying it once, there will be a tremendous desire to do it again and again. But let's get back to the practical things. We've covered questions about the aerodrome and buying a plane, and now we should speak about the pilot license. Again, I should mention that I am speaking about the things in our country. Some stuff in other places might be slightly different. There are special flying schools, where you can become a real pilot from zero. You will study a theory of aviation for about 2 months, and then you will practice in air with an instructor for 42 hours. Then you will take a final exam, and if you pass it, you will get a private pilot license. As to the medical issues, the things are the same like getting a driver license for a regular car. If you are permitted to drive a car, you will be permitted to have a pilot license. And speaking about the prices, the whole price of studying theory and practice will cost you $10,000. It seems rather costly, doesn't it? But in fact, the whole sum of buying a used plane and storing it and getting a pilot license is approximately the same as owning and maintaining a regular middle-class car. And the most important, having a private plane, it's not only just for fun. As a matter of fact, it's quite practical thing. Undoubtedly, traveling by air is one of the most effective means of transport. But traveling by your own plane, it's even much better. Forget the pervasive traffic jams. The sky is waiting for us. Well, my friends, thanks a lot for having a flight with us. It was really awesome. Please post your comments if you have such an experience of flying on a private plane. Maybe you are having one. It would be great if you share with us your experience. Besides, it's so interesting to compare the prices in our countries. Please share your prices of buying an used plane, keeping it in the airdrome, and getting a pilot license. And consider subscribing the channel if you like this video. Stay with us, there will be many more interesting materials here. Goodbye.